MZRA Nation, welcome back to ACS April. How sharp are you on your steep turns? MZRA Nation, welcome back. It's a beautiful day. We're starting to get nice and warm here. I know I always like to talk about the weather as we're getting into these videos, but we're in ACS April, spring. And as of right now, I'm knocking out some clearing turns, and today, everyone's favorite, especially whenever it comes to check ride time, steep turns. So, how do we perform steep turns to the ACS standard, and ultimately, why do we do steep turns to begin with? And if everyone is familiar with, especially when you're doing your student pilot training for your private pilot certificate, steep turns, you're gaining more control with the airplane. You're understanding how to fly the airplane with an increased load factor. That's a huge thing. Everyone is kind of thrown off at first because you're being put in your seat and just try to maintain altitude, airspeed, and roll out on a heading. It's quite the challenge. But it's a pre-solo maneuver because we need to see when you're in the traffic pattern, if you were to get yourself in any sort of evasive maneuver or scenario, you need to be able to handle that airplane efficiently. Let's talk about the ACS standard for steep turns. Now, for the private level, we're going to get plus or minus 100 feet of the starting altitude. We're going to get plus or minus 10 knots of airspeed and 2-3 miles per hour. We're going to get plus or minus 10 degrees of your starting heading, and we're going to do a turn to the left and turn to the right. Examiners, it's their choice on whether you do them one at a time or do them consecutively. From what I've seen, most examiners do them consecutively, just to be able to add that challenge of rolling from a left to a right. I like to start from the left because if an aircraft is behind me, the right-of-way rules are going to deviate to the right. So, as of right now, I've done a pre-maneuver checklist. I highly suggest doing it. If you can do it in a practice area, do that as well. But I'm going to start at 100 miles an hour on a cardinal heading of north at 4,500 feet. And the biggest thing when starting a maneuver, don't rush into it. Because when you rush into it, it's going to start off sloppy. I want you to start off perfect. Now, don't take too long to make the examiner have to wait there, but I want you to get as close as you can to your starting point. Have it all set and stable, but start it when you are ready. So now I got 100, 4,500, right at 360. And here we go. This is important to understand what aerodynamically is happening. So we're going to have to add back pressure because we're trading our vertical component of lift for horizontal component of lift. It's going to be increase and induced drag. So it's going to require a little bit of engine RPM, and it's going to require that back pressure, of course. So let me get back to my baseline because, again, be as ready as you can on this. Once I am at my baseline, there's 4,500, there's 100, there's right at 360, and I'm going to talk kind of how I talk to myself through this. I want you to be vocal about when you do these things. The examiners like that. I'm going to start my rolling. I'm going to add that power as I'm rolling in, get to my 45-degree point, and I'm going to pay attention to my coordination. If I'm not centered on the ball, get centered on that ball because that's going to be adding some drag. And I want you to just pay attention, watch that nose sweeping across the horizon, stay coordinated. I want you to stay coordinated and watch that airspeed. Check outside, make sure you're doing exactly what you want the airplane to be doing. And coming back around, next thing is to pay attention to is your cardinal heading. There we go, coming around, roll right out on it, anticipate a balloon, and go right into the right side. And I'm going to anticipate that back pressure, and then again, I'm just sweeping the nose across the horizon. Sweeping the nose across the horizon. Make sure I'm coordinated, make sure I got enough power in, and don't overcomplicate this. A lot of people will overcomplicate it. I just want you to sweep that nose across the horizon. Understand if there's little minute corrections you need to make them. But for the most part, you can see what this is going to, what's going to happen, especially when you get closer to rolling out. I want you to finish back at that baseline. Understand once you roll out, We're going to have to undo the things that we did. So we no longer need so much back pressure, and we no longer need so much power. We're going to return to those baselines. And once we do that, we're all set. And let's talk about some common mistakes that we see. Some common mistakes that I see whenever students do steep turns is they will roll it in and not anticipate that induced drag and losing that vertical component of the lift. So they won't add as much back pressure as they need, and you'll lose your altitude. Again, we get plus or minus 100 feet of your starting altitude. So we need to pay attention to that and understand what's happening to the plane whenever we do this. Another one is not being coordinated. If you don't roll in coordinated, I like to say this is not only a yoke maneuver, this is a rudder maneuver as well. If you roll in uncoordinated, it's going to add some more drag, so it's going to slow you down right off the bat, and you start having to play catch up with a couple different things all at once. It takes a lot of mental acuity to do that. It's been a lot of fun demonstrating ACS April. I love being able to share all these flight maneuvers to help everyone prep to be the best they can for their check ride. But I want to thank each and every one of you for joining. Keep studying hard, keep flying smart, and keep the passion for aviation alive. Because remember, a good pilot is always learning.